And welcome back to North of the Broad. Roy Austin has joined us once again. As you know, he is the founder 5.5 years ago of Libraries for Kids International. Good to have you with us.
Well, appreciate you having me, Robyn.
Yes.
It's always great to see you.
Yes. We're going to kind of focus on the why.
Right.
The why. Why we think it's important to have libraries in Africa for kids. But before we get to that, I want to know your why. Why did you were an accountant, right, Roy?
I was an accountant, and I was on a safari. We visited a rural school in Kenya. Somebody asked the teacher, "Do you have a library?" And her face lit up and she smiled. She said, "No, but we'd love to." And I couldn't stop thinking about that. I mean, how hard can this be? We'll get some books donated. We'll ship them over there. And so here we are 5.5 years after we were founded, and we've put books in almost 8,600 schools, but 11,000 more to go in Kenya before we expand to other countries.
Now, Libraries for Kids International, is it part of a bigger?
No.
So it is you.
It is us.
Us.
Yeah.
It is us.
It is us.
So let's talk about the libraries in Africa. You're in Kenya right now.
Right
you
now.
hope to expand, as you said. So how does that process work? So you buy the books and then they go over in containers.
Actually, we contract with a partner that has warehouses full of donated books.
I see.
And they arrange all the logistics. When they arrive, our operations coordinator gets them delivered to the schools.
Right.
And I asked her one time, because she did some volunteer work for us without being asked. And I said, well, I appreciate that, but I wasn't paying you and I didn't ask you to do that.
Right.
And she said, when I was in school, there were 30 to 40 kids in a class, one textbook, one math book, one English book, one Swahili book, whatever the subject was. We all had to share it.
Right.
And no library.
Yeah.
Now, that's not true in the big cities, but in the rural areas, it's very common for 20 or 30 kids to have to share one book. And so the libraries they open up the world to these children.
Right, and on your shirt it says books open opportunities
for kids. That's right.
Because you can open up a book and it transports you.
It does.
To history, to another place in the world, to learning about anything and everything.
Well, a young boy named Bren Muhu put it this way. He said the books helped him because he was failing science, and after the books came, it was his favorite subject. But he went on to say, the books opened the world to me.
Right.
Because all he knew was his village and his mud and stick hut.
Right.
And so to see that there's a bigger world out there, and what's interesting is when you talk to the children, and they talk about their hopes and dreams for the future, whether they want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, engineer, pilot, whatever the occupation is, the reason they want those occupations is to help other people. Right. It's deeply ingrained in their culture to help each other. It's been that way for thousands of years because they existed in an environment that was very harsh, very hard to earn a living or to get by.
Right.
So you had to depend on other people.
And so they want to give back.
So they want to give back.
So you're planning on going to Africa in June, I believe. What are your plans? What is the why about this trip?
Well, once again, we'll be visiting the schools and talking to the kids and talking to the teachers and, learning stories about their lives and what they want to do so that we can come back here and share those. And so we're really looking forward to that. I keep telling you should come with us.
I know, and one of our colleagues, Joe, is going to be going with you, and he'll be taking some cool pictures and on the journey.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything that you do for the kids there. And
it's a privilege.
What a legacy you've created.
Well, you don't do it without a great team. Yeah. And Laura, she's an amazing asset.
She is.
We've got an amazingly dedicated board. Our operations coordinator in Kenya is just out of sight. I mean, she gets problems solved and overcomes challenges like nobody I've ever met.
And what's her name?
Wanjiku. But her nickname is Siku.
Siku. Okay. All right. Well, good to see you again, and thank you for
Thanks,
everything
Robyn.
you do for our the children over in Africa. And again, you're going to keep growing, moving.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, more books, more kids,
Yeah.
more libraries,
More, yeah.
more everything.
There's 54 more countries to get to, which I won't live to see, but Laura will.
Thank you, Roy. And we'll be right back with more North of the Broad. Don't go away.